I got so excited. I was like, hey, everybody. Hey. We didn't even have our intro yet.
We got the intro in and everything like that. But what's going on, world? What's going on? This is the Military Fresh Podcast featuring the Savage Squad. What's good? We miss everybody. We
Happy
miss y'all.
Friday.
Hey, it's been a minute. These one time a month shows, I be fiending. I'm like, I feel like a crackhead sometimes when it's time for us to get on. I just be like, so are we getting on today? Are we good? Like, are we doing this?
Can we for the last 2 weeks. No, the last 2 weeks, I was like, oh, we're about to do Savage Squad. And you're like, no, not yet. I'm like getting ready every single Friday for it.
See, that keeps that anticipation because everybody thinks about to come on, and then like, hey, oh, they're not coming on. Oh, okay. And then we put out a promo. They're like, all right, bet, they're coming. So we gotta keep everybody, wanting more. You know what I mean? So, and no, it's been a long week for me. I know that much. I got. Well, let's introduce Be Bougie, the Savage Squad. We are here. I am your host, The Beast. And we have a Be Bougie here with us today. What's going on, B? How you doing? Everything's good for the week?
Yeah, I had a decent week. I had to do the random COVID test today. So I woke up pretty scared this morning, I have to admit, because everybody was telling me nightmare stories about that. And most people were telling me they were feeling it up here in their eyeballs. And I went into the clinic this morning, and the corpsman was like, they have a little flap that comes down. He was like, let me lock you in here, because I was nervous talking. I was just like, so what's it gonna do? What are you gonna do? What is that thing? What are you gonna do? You have to stick it up my nose. Am I gonna fill it in my eyeball? I don't know. I don't really want to do this. I was doing the nervous talk.
Yeah, I feel you because, me and my family had to get tested because we came into contact with someone who was tested positive. So we had to, me and my daughter and my wife had to get tested. So we did a virtual virtual doctor's appointment, and the doctor's telling us, we're going to go ahead and get you tested. And I guess she's seen the look in my eyes of, no, I'm not getting tested. Because I just kept on hearing horror stories about people feeling in their brain. Like they're like the swab is like this long, and then they stick it up there, and like it's so far they're like they touching the end of the swab, and their hand is on your nose. And I'm like, that's not happening to me. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Nope. And she had to calm me down. She was like, it's not as invasive as it used to be. They just put it a little bit up your nose, and then you're good. And I was still nervous. I was still super nervous. It was a drive-through type of deal. So they came to me. When they went to my wife's side, they came to my side, and I closed my eyes. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like,
oh, me too.
And she did it, and she did the other side. I was like, oh, that's not bad. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Because I'll tell you now, I didn't
think it was that bad. I just felt it right here in my nose, right here, not in my eyeball, but right here. I didn't think it was that bad, but the MC one that was with me, he had tears in his eyes. There was real crying going on. So I guess it's to each person.
You should have taken it and had it on the show. That should have been the opening. We wouldn't even played our intro. We would have just played him crying, getting the COVID test done. So I wish you would have taken that. But if you see it's just me and B tonight, we had so Mo and Doc had prior arrangements for today, but they were here with us in spirit. Me and B still gonna make this happen. Still the Savage Squad regardless. So today's episode, so we can go ahead and get into it, so we can bring these two outstanding people on. Today's episode is about veterans entrepreneurship. So, we have a lot of veterans out there that when they get out, they really don't know exactly what to do, but they want to own their own business. And brought two people on who have their own businesses. They're both veterans. Both were
successful entrepreneurs.
Yes, successful entrepreneurs. That's another reason that we wanted them on, because they're successful. Not saying that we wouldn't bring somebody on that wasn't successful, but Like, what would they tell you? Like, what would they say? This how to fail? No. So we want to make sure that we brought somebody on, two people on that are very successful. They're part of the MFN family too. So we have David Johnson, who has the David Johnson podcast out there. It's amazing. If you have not seen the David Johnson podcast, then you need to look it up. It's great. He has some very interesting guests on there, and he's done big things. He was in the Army. He did his time in, and he got out and made some money, and now he's doing his thing. We'll let him tell you a little bit more. And then we have Alicia. I'm not even going to mention your last name. You're basically going to introduce yourself when you come on with your last name. I'm just not even going to mess it up like that.
I'm going to pop her on the screen so she can tell everyone her last name.
She goes by Combat Barbie on Instagram. She's part of the MFN family. She's an esthetician. I know I probably messed that up. And she's successful. She's out there doing a thing. I wish that me and my wife was in California so we could go and get aestheticized. I don't know what you do, being an esthetician. No, that's not what it is.
Lord, you don't get aestheticized. So, Alicia, can you let's go ahead and pull everyone up.
Without further ado, we're going to get David Johnson and Combat Barbie on here. What's going on?
Hey, good to hear from you guys.
Hey, welcome.
I'm back.
Is somebody getting esthetized or something?
I don't even know what it is. I don't know what you do as an esthetician.
All right.
I don't know what is it.
Look,
what
I'm just listening at you introduce me.
With the Cheeto.
I love the Cheetos.
With the hot Cheetos.
She's so serious. She's so serious about her Cheetos, y'all.
She's very serious about her hot Cheetos. So since it is number one, we want to celebrate today. We're also celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. So we're going to start with the lady. We're going to start with Alicia. First of all, you're going to have to tell us how you say your last name because I wasn't going to chop it up. I already look crazy on the show as it is. So I just said somebody's getting estheticianized. So I already got one strike on me. So I'm not going to mess your name up. So introduce yourself to the people.
To be honest with you, it's an Italian name. I can't even pronounce it.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. It's Alicia Malgiero. It's my husband's last name, of course. I am an esthetician. So for all of you guys that don't know, an esthetician does facials, eyelashes, eyebrows, anything to do in the beauty industry. It falls under the category of cosmetologist. Was in the military for 15 years, and then I medically retired and just followed my dreams after that.
awesome. So you were a master sergeant?
I was a master sergeant in the U.S. Army.
For those non-Army folks, what is that? Because I was trying to figure that out.
Master sergeant is the best rank to have in the military. It's either a master sergeant or first sergeant. It's an E8 for all those non-Army people that go off the E list. It's a E8. It's probably the second to last rank that anybody can get as an enlisted soldier.
Oh, thanks. Look, Terry Soros said boss, first sergeant. Hashtag boss.
That's right.
So, David, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what your job is?
Yeah, sure. Nowhere near 15 years in the Army. I feel like I should be standing at parade rest right now. I only did 6 years in the Army, but I was in from 2000 to 2006. Just like everybody, had a few deployments to Iraq and that kind of stuff. But I got out. Came back to Phoenix. I did utilize the GI Bill, went to Arizona State, and then I started my entrepreneurial career. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2009, 10-ish. The first 5-6 years were all just getting, kicked in the face and punched in the gut and thrown on the side of the road. And then around 2015, everything started to click, and here we are today, in a nutshell.
So I have a question, and this is just coming from because I'm nearing the end of my military career. I'm at 15 years myself, and I know other people are thinking about this. But when you make the transition from the safety net of the Army, Navy, whatever branch it is, uh, what are your feelings at that point? I know maybe you're thinking entrepreneur or working in some regards. Combat Barbie, Alicia, can we start with you? What are your feelings like getting out of the military? What were you feeling at this point?
Well, that's where the hot Cheetos came into place. The anxiety. It's very it gives you anxiety. It's very scary because you all you know is the military. You really don't know what you want to do. I do have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, which I thought I wanted to either be, somewhere in the law enforcement as a probation officer, or maybe I don't know, a cop or a detective or something,
Mm-hmm.
in that field. But then once you get towards your end of your your career in the military, you kind of start to think like, is that really what I want to do? Because I just sort of kind of did that in the military, like play the, I mean, you're not a cop or anything like that, but you did work for the government. So is that what I really want to get out and then go ahead and go do? Or do I want to do something different? So all these thoughts start to, play in your head.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a very scary feeling. And then you're like unsure of what you want to do. Then you have people telling you, well, you should do this, maybe you should look into this. So my best advice is do your own research. Like definitely do your own research before you start listening to other people.
Okay. David, can you tell us how you felt? Because you did one. You said one tour, one enlistment.
I did one enlistment, yeah, 6 years, and then three tours in Iraq. Am I the only one hearing that music?
I could hear it
It's so
playing. Yeah.
loud. What is
Yeah,
that?
I can't even hear my own. I don't know if I'm gonna.
No music.
I
Uh,
was. It was. I didn't even try to put that loud. I thought that was kind of soft, but I'll just go ahead and turn the music off. All right. Sorry, my
these
bad. That's me.
headphones.
No, it's loud.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe my headphones are just too
No,
high
I'm.
quality. I don't know.
Hey, like I said, I'm comedy relief over here. I didn't know why I'm on the show. I just come on, introduce people, say a
He's
couple
just
of
trying to get
things, mess a
Estes'
couple of things
eyes.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just messed stuff up, So I'm just here. I'm just gonna sit back and go ahead and let y'all finish.
No, but it's a good question, and I think I got out in 2006, and I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on this. When I got out in 2006 after 3 back-to-back tours, PTSD and all that wasn't really on the scene yet, and it wasn't nowadays I think there's a lot more services. I think the transition getting out nowadays is I don't know if better is the right word, but maybe there's a lot more resources available. But as far as what I wanted to do when I got out, I had no idea. All I really knew was I had the GI Bill and I'm going to go to college. So I started going to Arizona State in 2006 or 7 and graduated in 2009 or whatever it was. And, I didn't really falling into entrepreneurship was just kind of happened. I didn't wake up one day and say I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I woke up one day with an idea and then said, "Oh, let me go pursue this idea."
So what did you start with?
I got into the tech industry. I had a tech startup from 2008, 9, and 10. We got it on paper to be valued at about $2.1 million. We did a lot of great things. At the end of the day, the company crashed and burned. Lost everything I owned. It was a great learning experience. We officially shut the company down in September of 2011, I believe it was, but did run it for 3 years, and it was an absolute phenomenal learning experience for me.
Wow. It must have high highs, low lows, huh?
I mean, yeah, you wake and back in the day in that 2008, 9, and Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Instagram just coming on the scene. That was kind of like the thing and the buzzword, and I thought I'd roll the dice and give it a shot, and well, that was that.
Alicia, I was going to tell you, and I'm sorry, Jay, because I'm taking over because I have so many questions because this is like, no, this is really what I'm like thinking about. But I'm so impressed because with COVID going on and you told me you're getting ready to start another salon. So you are flourishing in this pandemic with your but now I can't say it.
Esthetician.
Esthetician business. I mean, you're flourishing. And how are you doing that? What is it that's making your business grow at this point?
Honestly, it's just the love I have for it, you know, like in order for you to be successful, I believe you have to believe in what you do, and you have to love it. You have to love it with a passion first and foremost. And I just love it so much, you know. And with the pandemic happening, and I mean, I think the pandemic kind of like helped everybody in this industry a little bit more, because it was shut down for, you know, a couple of what months. And now that we're slowly reopening, well, everybody wants to get their lashes done. Everybody wants to get their nails done. Everybody wants to get something done, their hair, something. So I think it kind of helped us out. But basically, just the passion I have for it, the drive I have for it, it's just, I think, what's helping me out. And that's you know, what would help a lot of people out there. You have to be sure that that's what you want to do and not be unsure of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to go for it. You know what I mean? You got to go for it. I mean, I love talking to people. I love meeting new people, and I love hearing their stories. So in this industry, it's the best industry to be in order to meet people. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So going
So,
rewinding back. Oh, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
oh no, I probably was going to say the same thing you're going to say. So if you, so how did you? So we're going to start with David. How did you actually get started and think about an actual podcast? So like, because you could have done anything else, but why a podcast? And then just tell us because you know we're a podcast and we're trying to get to where you're at. So tell us how did you jump from going from being in the Army, serving, doing the thing that you did before, and you said you didn't do that well, and then going to say, you know what, I'm gonna do a podcast.
Yeah. So believe it or not, and a lot of people don't know this because I never say it. I probably should though, but the podcast is actually only 6 months old, and you know, it's really our YouTube channel. So January of this year, the YouTube channel didn't even exist. Like, it literally wasn't even an idea in my head, period. And around early February, and take a step back, the podcast is actually a passion project. So going off what Combat Barbie was saying, you got to have passion, and you got to want it, you got to like it. So this podcast, and again, it's a passion project. But long story less long, around early February, I wanted to do like a Joe Rogan visual style project. I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and then that's how it all started. So we had to get, you know, the production, the studio, all of that. So we got all that together, and then, believe it or not, we filmed 10 episodes in 48 hours.
Wow.
From a Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. until a Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. It was that March 15, 16, 17, whatever those days were. We filmed 10 45-minute episodes. And then launched. And then that Tuesday, back to COVID, that Tuesday, it was St. Patrick's Day, was the day that the governor of Arizona put us into lockdown. So we were going to even extend it 1 week, and thank the heavens we did it, because it would have been scrap, done deal, see you later. And then in 5 months, we've had over 50,000 views on all of our platforms. And then we're planning a season 2 coming up here in 60 days. But to sum it all up, it's a passion project. I think, you know, America, our kids, people need to hear our stories of what we're doing, and our community, the veteran community. And that's really what I'm trying to do.
So your podcast is just for veterans. So do you just have veterans on? Like, tell us exactly like what your podcast is about.
Yeah, so it's the David Johnson Show, and you can find it at YouTube. Just search the David Johnson Show. It's not necessarily, all the guests are not veterans, but they're doing something for veterans, but it is related to the military and veteran community. Just telling stories, hearing people's thoughts, hearing their experiences, and just really trying to pull out that raw emotion is what we're after.
Awesome. That's amazing.
It's been a lot of fun, that's for sure. And then, so it's been a lot of fun. When we're doing a season 2 in November, we're going to shoot another 8 episodes.
Wow.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of episodes in one day. I can imagine us trying to get that many episodes done in one day without something happening, somebody getting irritated. The takes are going to be it's going to be a lot of outtakes and bloopers. It'll probably be on my part, but it'll probably be a lot of bloopers that you a lot of reels that you have.
Yeah, it makes for a long day, that's for sure.
So, Alicia, can you tell us a little bit about your
So,
start for your business?
Sure can. Okay, so like I said before, before I got out the military, of course, I was confused, did not know what I wanted to do. Like I said, you start listening to all these other people, and you know, I was so fortunate to have the Military Fresh Network in my life because all these positive posts that Jimmy Fresh puts on the Army Fresh and all the other platforms. One particular that caught my attention was, to sum it all up, is pretty much go for your dreams. Like, don't let anybody stop you. You know what I mean? I can't say for word, or can't remember for word what it really said, but pretty much that's what I took out of the message. And I'm over here, listening to everybody. Well, you should be a GS worker. You should be a contractor. I was even recommended to be in the reserves, which no, because I was retired. I was medically retiring. Not a lot of people get, granted a medical retirement. So I'm one of the few that I medically retired. It wasn't just a med board, but I got my retirement. So I'm like, well, if I got my retirement, I have to do something fun on my next chapter. But here I am listening to all these people, right? So my head is spinning. But then when I saw that particular post, like, my little light bulb, and I'm like, well, I'm into makeup. I love makeup. I've always loved makeup. I've always loved that industry. When I was in the military, I was taking courses on how to do the Hollywood makeup for movies. Um,
Mhm.
so it all started there. And then I saw that my mentor was posting on her Facebook that she was going to esthetician school. So I reached out to her and I'm like, hey, how much is it? Once she told me that the military covered it, the Montgomery bill, the Montgomery GI Bill, I'm like, say no more. I dropped everything. I went for it. And ever since then, it's been an amazing, amazing, amazing chapter for me. I'm just so happy.
So, how scary? I mean, and I know we already talked about the emotions leading into the business, but just to take that jump, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are probably thinking, like, this is it. This is it. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. And then they're like, hold on a second. Let me get another enlistment in. Or,
It's that
you
little
know,
yes, it's that it was all or nothing for me. When I decided to do the med board, I just decided to not let anybody know. Nobody was going to talk me out of it. And if I told just one person, I already know that one person, are you sure? Are you sure you want to get out? You only have 5 more years. You only have 5 more years. But my knee couldn't take it anymore. It was either I continue to give it my all in the military and I get a knee replacement, or I just, say I have to take care of myself and go for it and just get out. And that was my calling. That was my calling. When once they told me I needed a knee replacement, it was my calling. It was meant to be. It was all or nothing. So I went for all.
Wow.
awesome. That is
Wow.
amazing. And I think a lot of people need to hear that. It's so I know, David, I know with your podcast and everything that you're doing, you pull out a lot of these raw emotions on the transfer over, but you yourself have done that, right? The transfer over to from military, from what do we call it? From boots to suits or something like that.
Right, right,
So
right.
you yourself have done this. So when you say this is a passion project for you, you're doing it because you've been there, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And, I think fortunately, maybe, I got out when I was younger. I was 23 or 24 when I got out. I was not married. I didn't have any kids. So I think that makes a huge difference as well. as opposed to maybe somebody getting out when they're older and they do have a family they have to take care of. But nonetheless, there's still parallel stories and parallel emotions from everybody that served. And then now you're in the civilian world. And as sad as this is about to sound, I mentor a lot of veterans here in Phoenix, and what I say is like, thank you for your service, but you know what? Nobody actually really gives a shit, and you have to move on. And I say that jokingly, like, of course people care, but the point is, you're not serving anymore. Again, thank you for what you did and everything you did, and we honor that and we cherish that. But you're now in a new chapter of your life. Like, you've got to move forward. You've got to find your what's next and honor what you did. Remember what you did. Keep in contact with your buddies, but you got to figure out what's next.
Right. And when you say that, that really strikes a chord with me because, we always see that old, I don't know, EA master that's still trying to hold on to that rank. Like, this is what I have done,
Right.
And yes, you did that, but now you are Combat Barbie. Or, you are someone
Right.
completely different. And I just love the way Alicia says, my next chapter, because it is the next chapter of your life and you can go any way the wind blows.
It is your next chapter, and there's nothing in the book that doesn't say that everything you have learned from, the discipline, from being respectful, loyal, and all that. There isn't nothing in the book that says you have to stop using that. You could still use that. And I think that's one of the things that helps me out in the industry that I'm at. The discipline that I have, that I gained while being in the military, but it is a new chapter. I'm not going to sit there and tell all my clients, well, my Army war stories, because that's not what they want to hear. They want to, they want to hear like, how can I take care of my lashes? How can I, what does this facial do? So they want to hear something else. So it's definitely, and once you let go, and you, like I said, you don't have to completely let go. You could always hold on to the great memories, I've had lots of them, but once you let go and you go on to your next chapter, it's like a load lifted off your back, and you feel like, I don't know, like, at least for me, I feel so much like happier. I don't have the stress, of being in the military, which we all know it is a stress being in the military. So it's like you just feel like you're reborn, like you were just born again, and I get it a lot. On like, you're glowing and this and that. But I mean, being an entrepreneur, I mean, I get to wake up at 12 and go to work, and go whenever I want to, get out whenever I want to. It's like I'm self-employed, so it's great. Mm-hmm.
So I do have this question because we are all connected through the Military Fresh, right? This is the Military Fresh podcast. And I know Military Fresh for you, David, has done a lot of promos and got your podcast up and running. But I have this question because it's something that Jimmy says to us. Jimmy Cox, the CEO of Military Fresh, he says it to us all the time, but he says that the military has given us discipline, and it has been our launching pad, right? We all have these great skills developed in the military, and I would really like to know how that helped, how your time in the Army helped you to get to where you are. David, would you go first?
Yeah, that's a great question. Really, probably just keeping things in perspective. And, I had a lot of great skill sets that I learned in the military. Candidly, I'm not using any of those skill sets in the world that I am now and in now, but really just the perspective and the drive. I got out of the military and I just had a drive to do something, special, and I wanted to succeed. And I didn't know how at the time. I didn't know where to focus my efforts, but I just had that drive and just had that kind of worldly perspective, and then just kind of just kept going, and everything just fell into place, and I kind of just eventually found my path.
Awesome. How about you, Alicia? What do you think that the military brought to the table?
Wow, I'm really thankful for the military. I mean, the military, I was a recruiter in the military, you know what I mean? And a lot of people say, recruiter, I don't want to do that. But if you're out there and you're listening to me, you're still in the military, and you're picked or selected to be a recruiter, go for it. I mean, I couldn't be as successful as I am in the beauty industry if it wasn't for recruiting. I mean, I've learned my marketing from the Army. You know, I sold the Army. It's not like I was just selling a pencil, I was selling the Army. So because of that, I get constantly booked. You know what I mean? Because my marketing skills are so high up there that I know what kind of posts on IG are going to catch the audience attention to want to book. You know, the talking, I used to be so shy, believe it or not. I didn't want to talk before. Like, I would hide behind, you know, people. But when I became a recruiter, my station commander, which I'll never forget him, Sergeant Neville, great station commander, pushed me out there to go talk to in front of a whole class of high school students with tears in my face. You know, like, I literally had tears in my face. But if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't even be right here talking to you guys, because I was that shy girl. But now I'm out there. Everywhere I go to a restaurant, and I mean, if you guys ever, I mean, everybody here met with a recruiter, so you all know how that works. You're in a restaurant and I'm over here passing my business cards. Hey, do you want a facial? Hey, do you want, you know what I mean? And that's something I would have never ever done if I never ever was a recruiter in my
And
life.
that's quite possibly what's setting you apart from your civilian counterparts that aren't as out there.
Most definitely, yes, most definitely. I'm out there in a restaurant eating my, you know, tacos. We all know I love tacos. I'm over here eating tacos, you know, taco halfway on my mouth, and I'm like, here's my business card. You know, so, or I'll get their phones and I have them follow, you know, not only the Military Fridge Network, but, you know, Combat Barbie's page too. So it would have never happened if I would have never, I could honestly say recruiting was probably the best job I've ever had in the military.
Wow, that's so true. You know, David, what I was gonna think, or what I was thinking for you was resiliency.
Yes.
That's something we learn as military members to.
100%. 100%. Yes.
And when you mentioned before that you had a little crash and burn, well, maybe not a little, 2.1 millions, not.
Yeah, that was a fun day. I didn't get out of bed for like 2 weeks, literally, and then on like the second week, and I don't think I've ever even told this story, but I rented a U-Haul, drove it to the office, put all the furniture in the office. It was a tech company, so we had a lot of computers. I mean, every employee had a computer, obviously. Some had two, and desks, and drove it back to my house at the time, and just put all the furniture in my living room. And I had to break the lease to the office too, because I didn't have any money, and shut the company down. And it was very tough. Like I said, I literally did not get out of bed for like 10 days. It was the most gut-wrenching kick in the face I've ever experienced. And then at the end of that, because, you know, and then you also learn very quickly, you know, who your friends are. Most all the employees just basically bailed, and, you know, David who? And then on about the 10th day, and my then wife was pregnant with our son. That was September, like I said, of 2011. And then my son was born in May of 2013. I was driving to the hospital to deliver my son with negative $10 to my name. Negative in the bank, negative $10 to my name, driving to the hospital. But yeah, resiliency. And that's right around, I got into healthcare in that same year. And then I was mentored in the healthcare industry in 2013 and 14. And then in 15, I opened up my own company that I still have today in the healthcare industry. But to your point about resiliency, 100% the military taught me that. No questions asked.
I think, you know, a lot of times when we, as those that are still wearing the uniform, Jay and I are still in uniform, we're thinking, okay, let me think of my day-to-day recruiting. Okay, what am I going to do? Make phone calls, you know, when I get out or anything like that. But it's those types of skills like resiliency, or for Alicia, the courage and to work on what she was weak on. Those types of skills are what we carry into our next chapter. Not so much the, hey, can you make 50 phone calls a day or 500 phone calls?
Right.
You know, whatever it may be, but it's those skills. So I know, Jay, you have something to say, don't you? You back with this?
I don't know. I don't know what to say, because been going in and out. No, because I like everything everybody was saying, and it's real hard because I have my own business. Me and my wife have our own business, and it's hard even when you're in trying to get that business started up. Because I have like 5, maybe 4, maybe 2 years until I retire. It just depends on how things work out. Um, and to hear y'all talk about how to push and how the resiliency is and what to do to actually make it, it makes me think. I'm just sitting here thinking like, okay, you said do this, so I need to start passing out business cards when I'm eating tacos. I need to go and do this. I need to make sure I go and do this. So this is the reason why we wanted y'all on the show, is so everybody can see that just because you start out and you fail, don't give up. And to keep on pushing to do something else, like David did. He said he had 10 hours to his name, and he basically still pushed forward to make it to where he's at now. So I said I really don't have anything to ask at this moment because I don't
To
want
add to that, Jay, a lot of people out there see the Military Fresh Network, and I'm gonna take it back to the Military Fresh Network. Because a lot of people out there see the Military Fresh Network, automatically assume it's a shout out page. But not
Mhm.
only do you have to go out there and pass out cards, all these people in this network or in the platforms or people we highlight, they're people with experience. And that's what these pages are there for us to reach out to these people and ask the questions, talk about, what our plans are. That's what we are about. We're out there, you know, um, you know, we're out there spreading the word about the Military Fresh Network because we want to hear everybody else's stories. Like, David, like we want to hear your guys' stories. We want to hear what, I didn't know you had a business, Jay, until right now, but of course I just met you like yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, I didn't know
It's a
you had a
network.
business,
It's
but
it's a
yeah,
true
it's a
network.
network. I mean, like when we say it's the number one network in America, we're not lying. Google it. It's out
Mhm.
there. You know what I'm saying? And all these people, we're not a shout out page. We're not those pages where we put our picture in uniform and our picture in bikinis. Like that's not who we are. We are a lot more than that. We are a lot more than that. And there's a lots of people out there who are, musicians, who are into
Mhm.
podcasting, who want to be singers, who want to be rappers, who want to be,
Yeah.
sky's the limit. And that's what this network is about, which is why I'm so passionate about it and which is why I support it 100%, because that's what we need. That's exactly what we need. And a lot of people don't see that. You know what I mean? So it's all about going out there and reaching out to these people to ask about their experiences, what feedback they can give us on what they've done. There's a lot of veterans in this community of the Military Fresh Network, and there's also a lot of soldiers who are actually, who are also successful in their businesses that we can reach out to. We just need to look at these platforms and read the stories and share our stories as well.
And we do it while we're in uniform all the time. Hey, if you make me this hamburger, I'll order you these boots. Or hey, if you do this. So we network constantly in the military. And that's what's so great about Military Fresh Network, because it's outside of everything else. So it is the David Johnson show. It is the Combat Barbie Salon. It is the Picture Perfect designs from Jay, and it's everyone using these talents that we have built and we're great at, and just networking them. So I like the way you put that, Alicia, a lot. So I do have one more question for each of you, and I really want you to take the time to expand on this. But what's next? So I know you're really, 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 flourishing, Alicia. But what's next for you? Where are you going? What's your next step?
Whew. Well, I do have my short-term goals and my long-term goals, but the next step is the next salon that I'm getting ready to, open. That is the next step, which if it doesn't scare you, then it's not challenging, right? So it is a little scary to, do it again. um And also, like, my life and my passion is really invested in the Military Fresh Network. We're getting ready to launch 3 links out there, for our shirts and our, the flasks and the military gear. So my life is really invested in Military Fresh Network, which is that's my other passion. You know what I'm saying? So besides the salon, giving it my all to the Military Fresh Network is the next step. So yeah.
I think we neglected to mention that you are also the CMO of Military Fresh Network.
That's right.
Chief Marketing Officer of Military Fresh Network.
Yes, that's right. I'm the person behind most of the promos, of course, with the help of the team, and of course you. Yeah. So it is one of a passion of mine besides the salon. Like I said, it is I believe in the Military Fresh Network, and I believe that it's gonna be, it's already huge and it's gonna expand even more. I just think people need to pay a little bit more attention to it and follow it and see what we're about, and definitely stay tuned for the anniversary, October 16th. Don't miss out. I had to do that.
Shameless plug. So David, tell us what's next for you. What's next with the David Johnson Show, your healthcare?
Yeah, so the healthcare business, I don't want to say is on autopilot, but it's cruising along. We definitely had some bumps with COVID and whatnot, but it's there. So my day-to-day and my passion, I just wake up every day and do this talk show. And I'll take a step back. I stumbled across probably on Instagram or somewhere, to be honest, I don't remember, the Military Fresh Network months ago, way before even we really launched the talk show. And I had the pleasure of meeting Jimmy last year in Washington, D.C. at the Military Influencers Conference. I went up there and shook his hand because, and I'll take another step back, I saw one of the T-shirts last year or something, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, another military apparel company. I didn't know what it was all about at the time, but I'm like, oh, that's a cool T-shirt. Click, buy, purchase. It's at my house like a week later, so I got a T-shirt, and I'm like, okay, well, let me really look into what this is all about. And when I started to dive deeper into the brand and the meaning behind Military Fresh Network, and it just resonated with me when I read, and I'm just going to paraphrase this, but I read it on the website about how you could be a soldier and still be, the unique individual you were created to be. And that just really resonated with me. Then I saw Jimmy at Mick, and I went up and shook his hand. But anyways, I derailed for a second. What's next is the David Johnson Show. So again, season 1 of the talk show is produced. We're doing a season 2 in November. Greatly looking forward to a greater partnership with the Military Fresh Network. It's going to be an absolute honor if I could get Jimmy on board the show as a guest, to come out to Phoenix and be a guest on the show and really tell that story in an emotional way. Because I think his story needs to be told, and his story needs to be put on a national platform.
Most definitely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there's a lot that we can do, and the marketing capabilities that the Military Fresh Network has, and all its, I call it subsidiaries. I don't know if that's the right legal term, but that's neither here nor there. But all the different affiliated brands, if you will, under the Military Fresh Network, those marketing capabilities and everything we could all do together, I think is going to be amazing.
So what is your I guess top focus for season 2 for the David Johnson Show?
It's just producing more episodes. Not every episode has a theme. The Marine rapper is going to come on. Raymond's going to come on. We have the individual that collected all the intelligence that led to the arrest of Saddam Hussein, and he created an empathy-based style approach. He's going to be on. We have some pretty big wigs that are going to come on and just tell their stories. And again, I just want to produce another season. It's going to be at the same studios here that NBC and ESPN uses here in Phoenix. So we're kind of upping our production quality a little bit, and we're going to do a lot more B-roll, behind the scenes, post-production, kind of make it more interactive this time around, as opposed to season 1 was just me and a guest just talking on a platform. So season 2 is going to be a little bit more interactive, and then hopefully just reach a wider audience and just keep pushing forward.
So where can we find this, or where can we watch these episodes at?
Yeah, absolutely. Two things. Thank you for asking. You can go to thedavidjohnsonshow.com. Please subscribe to our newsletter. And then all of our shows are on YouTube at The David Johnson Show. So just put in the search bar on YouTube, The David Johnson Show, and you'll see all of our episodes.
Awesome. And Alicia, we keep calling you Combat Barbie, but for those that are watching, that is her Instagram handle. So tell us how we can follow your makeup and your inspirational posts. How we can follow
So
you.
I am on Instagram under Barbie's underscore glam and skincare. That's where you'll find me, or you can find me under combat Barbie underscore 12, or wait, combat underscore Barbie 12. That's it. You can find me there, and all over the Military Fish Network, of course. There's a lot of more inspirational posts on there and on my Instagram, but I am based out of El Paso, Texas, so I'm right around the corner from you, David.
Cool.
I'm like, what, 6 hours
Go get
away
exercise.
from you?
Yeah. Well, don't come out for another week or so. It's still 100 degrees out here.
Oh gosh.
Oh, trust me, I just drove by there because I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, so I take that drive all the time. And it's like you leave like you're going through El Paso and it's like 70 degrees out here now, and then you get to Arizona, it's like 120 degrees, and then you get to California, and then you're back down to the 70s. So I've been through that through
It's like
Arizona. It's pretty harsh out there.
It's all right though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got about another week or two of hot weather, and then it's like beautiful for 6 months.
Oh wow, nice.
So yeah, can't beat that.
Well,
so definitely, if you're looking for a facial, David, you're more than welcome to come to El Paso.
I'll hook you up. I'll try it. Just don't wax the eyebrows. I don't do any waxing on the eyebrows.
I'll leave the eyebrows alone.
Okay.
He needs to get ready for season 2.
Yeah, you know what? Yes.
The glow.
I got you, David. I got you.
All right. I'm down to give it a try. I'll try it once.
I'll even go down there and beautify Jimmy Cox. So
all right, yeah,
I got it.
That's good. Come down, check out the studio, check out the set. It'll be fun.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Thank y'all so much for coming on the show today. We really appreciate your insight and all of your experiences so that those that are in uniform can, see how it is, that it's not as scary as we thought to be on the outside of our safety net. And Jay, you back on with us? Sort of.
I guess. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I see. Yeah. We hear
Can you
you.
hear me? Maybe? No?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm here. Okay, I'm here. No, as you were saying, thank you for being on the show. It was good mentally, spiritually, putting on the stuff. I was listening to you all. It was great things. I wrote a lot of stuff down. Like I said, this is great. Military Fresh Network has a lot of things out there that you can see. You see these? They came from helping with the Military Fresh Network. So something that y'all want to be a part of, or make sure y'all tune in on October the 16th for that virtual celebration. But other than that,
definitely.
Like I said, we're happy to have you on. If y'all ever want to come back on the show, this was outstanding. Anything that y'all last minute things y'all want to leave us with, we're gonna start with Alicia. We're gonna put you on the big screen by yourself. If anything last minute things that you want to put out there, inspirational or anything like that.
Okay, so definitely don't be scared to go after your dreams. Follow your dreams. Do not let anybody stop you. Do your own research. Don't hesitate. If there's something in your mind that you want to do, just go for it. Again, do not hesitate to do it. Don't be afraid. Being afraid is actually a good thing. Being afraid means that it's challenging. What you want to do is very challenging. So that's actually a good thing. And don't forget to follow the Military Fresh Network. Ask the folks out there for their experiences, their knowledge, their advice. And don't forget to tune in October 16th for the anniversary. That's it.
All right, David.
Oh, here we go. Well, since the show's about entrepreneurship, I will end on an entrepreneurial note, and it goes like this. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur because it's a buzzword nowadays, but to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to be a successful businessman or woman. Take, for example, Alicia Combat Barbie. She has a product or service that she sells, which is being esthetician services, and she has a customer, and there's an exchange of value. Entrepreneur, again, is a buzzword that a lot of people just throw around. So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to have a successful business. It takes knowing what you're doing. It takes getting educated in that industry. I'm not saying it has to be a book education via a college, but you have to know what you're doing and understand that industry. So you could do it. You just got to know what you're doing.
That's awesome. Great words.
Great advice from both of you. So we're going to let y'all go. But once again, we thank you very much for, especially the last minute. I know, Alicia, I just asked you out of the blue. It's like, I need you on the show. Please be on the show. And you definitely came on. And David, you came quick. I hit you up on Instagram and you came back quick. I really didn't think you were going to come back quick. I was like, he probably not going to come back until like next week. And then the show will be over. So,
you actually owe me a box of hot Cheetos now that you reminded me. No, I'm just kidding.
I do. Yes. I said,
Yeah.
Okay, so before she leaves,
We pay all our guests in hot Cheetos.
this is the thing. Every time we do something, hot Cheetos, Alicia always says something about some hot Cheetos. She always has to bring something in with hot Cheetos. She wants to put them in a whole segment about hot Cheetos, or put a couple of hot Cheetos inside of a promo, or let's have hot Cheetos at the next event. Something has to do with hot Cheetos. That's the reason why I'm always talking about hot Cheetos. And then as Terry says, hot Cheetos is the devil. Them two are always going back and forth about the hot Cheetos. So that's where we're getting the hot Cheetos and everything from. But like I said, for Christmas, hot Cheetos is definitely what you and my wife need to go to. Hot Cheeto
World. Hot Cheeto
Rehab.
World.
That's what y'all need to go to. No, Hot Cheeto Rehab. Y'all need to go to Hot Cheeto Rehab. Both of y'all need to go and get it out the system. But like I said, thank you for coming onto the show and giving us the knowledge that you did give us. And I know I took a lot of notes, and we hopefully you can have you on the show again when you're way more successful. Because they said this is just the beginning for y'all. We can see that. So when y'all get way more successful, don't forget about the little people, and come back on the show.
Awesome.
Things like that.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Y'all have a great evening. Bye.
Awesome. I am so excited. I just want to take that. I mean, so many notes. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this because, we all going to end up getting out of the military one day and starting that next chapter. And they are just such big successes, But
yes.
I do want to take this time. I do want to take this time to talk about the next chapter with the Military Fresh Network, right? They just celebrated. We celebrated 5 years as a Military Fresh Network. Thank you so much for bringing us on board with you to host the Military Fresh podcast. And on October 16th, Jay, you could take it away because I know you know a whole lot more.
Well, I've been waiting for this moment all night. October the 16th. October the 16th is going to be a virtual celebration. So we're celebrating 5 years. Military Fresh Network is celebrating 5 years of existence. And we're going to go out with a bang. We have celebrities coming on for guests. We got 3 new websites that are going to be launched: the apparel, the Military Fresh gear, and also if you have not seen those flasks, oh my goodness, I cannot wait. I can't wait to get the flask.
I need an upgrade. Okay.
This is going to be epic. So if you haven't seen the flask, I know there's a whole bunch of stuff that we are doing, but the flask is my favorite thing. I'm not going to lie to you. The flasks are, I cannot wait. I'm on that show because it's going to be a military podcast type of deal, but it's not. It's going to be a show, and we have different hosts that's going to be in it, and I'm going to be in the background doing a lot of engineering, and I might get in trouble with Jimmy because as soon as the website launches, I'm going to be right there and I'm going to be buying stuff. I'm going to have stuff in the cart already. I'm going to have all types of flasks and everything in there. So it might be some comments that I'm not put up for a minute because I'm going to be on there buying all these flasks and the shirts and the apparel for my wife and things like that. So if you want the greatest of the great, the best quality shirts, if you want the best apparel, the workout gear, if you want your beverages to stay fresh on October the 16th, you need to be watching the show. You need to be watching the show.
You know what I'm so excited about? Everything is with detail, attention to detail. I mean, the fresh flask, they've got engraving on the bottom, the athleisure line. Every detail has been thought of, rethought of, revamped. The comfort level, the fit, everything has been thought of. So I guarantee you that you will not regret it when you order these products and just start, really go to the website at militaryfreshnetwork.com and really see I encourage you to see what the Military Fresh Network is all about, because like Alicia said, it's not a shout out page. It's so much more than that. It's a network.
Yes, this is all about us networking with each other, spreading the word, and helping veterans out there. That's what it's about. And like she said, it's not a shout out page. So please do not hit us up and say, hey, could you send us your picture and be like, hey, could you shout us out? No, because it's not going to happen. So I also want to talk about our next show. Our next show is going to be October the 30th. This show we're revamping a little bit more again because we got some things that we wanted to work on. But this show is going to be epic too because we already have our 2 guests in line. I have one guest who does bikes for vets. If you haven't seen it, if you go onto Army Fresh page, he does bike rides, bikes, all that stuff for vets. It has PTSD. So it's a great. It's a nonprofit also. And he's gonna come on and talk about the bikes and the rides and things like that. And then we have a musical guest. So we have a guy. He's in the Navy. He's also a wrestler. He's a wrestler, but I didn't know this when I was talking to him at first. But he also has a single out, and I'm not with the new school rap and things like that and singing and stuff like that. But I vibe to his stuff. I did. I vibe to his stuff. So look out for the promos for our show, for the podcast, the regular podcast on the 30th. And I'll also make sure, I'm going to say it again, October the 16th from 7:30 to 8:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Wherever you're watching.
It's going to be epic. This is something that you do not want to miss. Put it on your calendars. Make sure that you call a friend, tell a friend, text a friend, email a friend, everybody. Push it out there because this is a big event that's going to happen. Like we said, we have celebrities that's coming on. I'm not going to tell you who they are. Just look for the promos that's out there on Instagram and on Facebook. These celebrities are big. They're not small people. These are big people that's coming on and saying congratulations to us because we're going to take over the world. Military Fresh Network is taking over the world. Make sure you heard it here. We're taking over the world. So, with that being said, it's the end of our show. So, we're happy to be here. Love the show. Love being on. And we'll definitely see you next time. Got anything, any last words there, Bougie?
Nothing. We appreciate y'all.
All right. Next time.